All right, folks. So here's the deal, right? So with everyone's kind of losing their minds with regards to what's happening, people are running off false tangents. My first video clearly explains why this is happening, where this is going, who is what for. My second video was pretty much me being pretty upset at the fact that Microsoft are now withholding games, first party games, from Gamecast, regardless of what tier it is. Tier 2 and 3 should not have any games withheld. What time they release is fine, but where they're withheld, that's a problem because that's a slippery slope. First Call of Duty, then what? However, a lot of people are going on a tangent, and if you're looking on social media, you'll see stuff like this. Game Pass already wasn't growing and wasn't was probably losing subs. So this makes no sense if it was growing at $15, losing lots at $30. And Satya is focused on nothing but AI. See, this is the wrong angle to be targeting this, right? Jugulator is clearly wrong. He doesn't understand any business acumen. He clearly doesn't understand how what Microsoft are doing right now, whether you like to hear it or not, is actually going to make them more money. And you've got everyone out there right now screaming that Microsoft is going to lose money. This is bad for Microsoft. I'm talking channels that have got million subs are basically saying Microsoft are going to lose money. And I'm here to tell you that they are wrong. And Microsoft is actually going to make money. And here is why. And not only is this person saying it, right? You've got this one over here, Zeti. The price hike is supposedly due to cloud. It is not. I know it's not to do with that because it doesn't make business sense as to why, because they've not done anything with the cloud. They've not really invested anything into the cloud. That's why it's not. So why is this actually happening? What is the reason for all this? Well, here's the thing. Microsoft for the longest time has been practically giving Game Pass away through Microsoft Rewards. Those search engines searches that you're doing, whether you're playing games for 15 minutes, they can see that data, and that data is not useful. In fact, it's completely garbage. So they've been giving away Microsoft Xbox Game Pass Ultimate for free for a long time now. And, well, they've decided that it's not really growing. So now they've decided we're going to go the other way. We know that even at £275, Game Pass Ultimate is a good deal. Now, if we lose people subscribing to Game Pass, the chances are the ones that we're actually going to lose are the ones that were getting it for free anyway, right? You've got the content creators out there who don't pay for Game Pass. I know they don't because they've openly admitted that they don't. So them crying about it, I guess they're crying for the community, not for themselves. And if they're angry because they're saying they're going to cancel their Game Pass, don't believe it. They've been getting it for free for a long time. I personally haven't because Microsoft doesn't like me. And if I was, I would openly disclose that to you guys as well. But here is the thing. Microsoft is happy to lose 20-30% of those Game Pass subs. But by increasing the price in the UK by £96, what they're essentially doing is saying those people that are paying basically 50% increase is going to cover the loss of subs that they're having. The people that are going to stick around are going to basically cover that cost. In fact, those people that are leaving, if they're going to stay with Xbox anyway, they're going to buy their games, so Microsoft is still making their money. So for Microsoft, this is a win-win situation. But hey, let's just say you say, right, that's it. I'm leaving Xbox and I'm going to go PlayStation and buy my Xbox games there. And guess what? With the way Microsoft have positioned themselves, it doesn't matter. They are still getting your money. So no matter what you do, unless you completely and utterly stop buying Xbox games entirely and completely get rid of the Xbox ecosystem in your house, they win. That's the way they position themselves. And that is quite, I hate to say it, but it's quite ingenious, right? But that's the way that they have actually gone with this. They are happy to lose 30-40% because they know that the remaining 60-70% is going to make them more money. The ones that are leaving are going to have to now buy their games. And if they buy 4 games in the UK, they've already paid the price of Game Pass Ultimate for the whole year. So if they buy one more game, they've already given Microsoft more money than they would have throughout the whole year. That kind of puts things into perspective now. And so this is why Microsoft is doing this. Does that make sense? Because basically what they've done is they've sat down and said, these people, we've got like I'd say about 30% of people are basically getting Game Pass through Microsoft Rewards. That's giving us no money whatsoever. So we can afford to just get rid of those. We don't care about those people. I know it might sound harsh, but this is business. Don't think about it emotionally. Don't think about it, with your hats and what fanboy hats on and whatnot. Think about this rationally. They are basically saying, you're not giving us any money. We don't care about you. Now, for those of you that have basically subscribed until 2028, 2030, they're writing that off as a loss because they can't do anything about that. They're basically saying, right, when it comes to your renewal date, we'll look at what the situation is then, and we'll price it accordingly, or whatever they're going to do, or you can decide what you're going to do. So those that have like me to Game Pass till 2028, they don't care about us. And they don't care about those that were under Microsoft Rewards. What they care about are the ones that are actually paying. And those people that are paying will continue to pay. Now, you're going to get a few of them, that drop out, and that's fair. But what Microsoft is banking on, and it is going to work, is that even if they lose 5 million subs, the rest that are paying full price is basically going to make up the loss. And those that leave that are still going to buy Xbox games will cover the Game Pass cost anyway, and Microsoft is still making money. Can you see how the way Microsoft has positioned this, there is a no-lose situation for Microsoft? It puts them in a really shitty position to do this, yes, but the way they've positioned themselves as a business, you have to admit, it's a masterclass in genius. And I know we're going to end up paying more, but I'm envious of just how they actually managed to pull this off. And because they did. This is like an amazing heist. They did. And so that's the game. They don't care if you unsubscribe. You see all these people on social media, I'm taking my reoccurring Game Pass off. Oh, but I am subscribed till 2028 or 2030. Microsoft's like, bitch, please, you're subscribed to 2030. Why do I care if you start posting on Xbox, Twitter, and saying you're leaving? You ain't leaving. You're here till 2030. What Microsoft want you to do is to scrap your Game Pass and never use it again, so they actually, make money off you. They want you to. People like me, it would work in their favor if we just stopped using Game Pass entirely because they make more money. So let's not beat around the bush. But here's the thing. The way that they've done it, if you leave and you buy your games, you're giving them money and you're giving them more money. If you have Game Pass, even at the, £275 rate, if you play more than 4 games a year, you are saving money. So Microsoft is turning around and telling you, leave. If you want to leave, and those of you that are on, Xbox Rewards and were getting this off Rewards, you had a good run. I had a good run. I've been doing it. We had a good run. But you know what? It's done. And Microsoft has said, that's over. The freebie life is over. Now, the one thing that they haven't factored in is obviously places like CD keys and, Eneba and stuff like that. And the way that they're going to tackle that, I guarantee you, is that they're going to, at some point, take those Game Pass monthly cards out of production. They're going to take those Game Pass monthly cards out of production. That is the only way that they can stop those. Otherwise, they will continue to exist, and people will continue to use those through avenues. I hope they do leave them alone, but I can see in maybe a year, 2 years down the line, they turn around and announce that, they are phasing them out. Whatever's out there in the wild is going to be it. And at that point, you will either have to pay full price for Game Pass, or you can go and buy your games and pay more over the course of the year. And that's really how it's going to work. You can already see the path that they're going down. I hope they don't touch the loaded and Eneba keys and stuff like that. But I can see that's the only way they can tackle it, because they can't stop it. The only way they can physically stop it is to basically say, we are stopping those codes working. We're taking them out of print. So whatever's out there in the wild can work, whatever's not. And the way that they're actually going to make the cloud system work better as well, this was a debate that we had yesterday in my stream. By all those free players leaving, who get their Game Pass Ultimate, the number of people attacking the servers and using the servers for cloud is exponentially going to go down, which means there's going to be more Series X blades available than the Series S. And so hopefully people will start to see an improvement in their gaming performance over cloud without Microsoft having to lift a finger. Essentially, Microsoft is clearing out the freebies and basically saying, you've had your run, that's great. If you want to stay, you're more than welcome to. If you want to leave, the door is there. And yeah, it kind of sucks. But I hope that this Business 101 makes sense. And all these people crying that they're canceling their subscriptions, even though they've got Game Pass until 2050. Yeah, it's all rage baiting. It's all thing. None of them are actually, unsubscribing. They're pretty much going back and resubscribing 5 seconds after they've actually, creating that auto renew 5 seconds after they've actually put the code in. They've set it off. So, yeah, I hope this has broken down Microsoft's plan, why they're doing this, how they're able to get away with it, and the fact that no matter which way you choose, whether you actually want to leave the Microsoft ecosystem entirely, Microsoft win. They've positioned themselves in such a way that Microsoft wins. You can leave and they still win because they know you're going to buy those games, right? And with Microsoft no longer being in the secondhand business because they're all digital, most of their games going to other platforms are all digital. There are still physical, but they're going to cut those down as well and remove them and make them digital only. The only way you can actually buy those games is to buy them, and Microsoft wins. Or you can stick around and pay the price of Game Pass. Microsoft wins. It sucks, but this is literally a no-lose situation. And even if Microsoft lost 30 or 40%, they're banking that the people that stay, that's going to pay the premium, is going to make the shortfall of those that left because they weren't paying anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But those people that are going to leave now are going to buy games. So from spending zero money, they're now going to spend £30 or £50 or £100. It doesn't matter because they weren't spending anything in the first place. So they've basically written off anyone that was on rewards and said, right, they weren't paying any money. That's gone. But that's it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I know a lot of people are going mental about this and crying about this and making, all sorts of hysteria and rage baiting. This is business, people. And as much as I don't like what the Microsoft have done and basically managed to pigeonhole everyone to their ways, you can't not say it's a masterclass in business. But one thing is for sure, regardless of what direction you go, unless you physically quit gaming with anything to do with Microsoft wins. So I think we should just now continue and see where this is going to go. Premium should disappear, though. That is complete bollocks, and it's complete, a scam. And nothing's going to change my mind about that one. Premium is a scam, and it's a slippery slope to adding more games that won't go onto that Game Pass. It shouldn't exist, and the only reason that does exist, again, is so they've got a price point in between Essentials and Ultimate. They wanted a medium price in there just to make it look, the gap between Essentials and Ultimate not being so great. That's the only reason it exists. All right, folks. I hope this has helped you some in understanding what's going on here. This is like some 4D chess, man. Microsoft literally has everyone by the balls. Whether you unsubscribe, subscribe, they win. What a game they played. They played the long game, and they surely won. Oh. GG's, Microsoft. GG. GG. I'll never call you stupid again. Peace out, folks, and remain legend.